the cancer diagnosis came like a thunderbolt. In reckless abandon, I splurged on a poor mute college boy. His features were icy, yet thirsted for adventure. To indulge him, I pushed my failing body beyond limits. Bungee jumping, car racing, scuba diving, skydiving, every forbidden thrill I experienced by his side. My savings evaporated as I awaited death, secretly signing hospital donation forms, planning to will my heart to his ailing mother, until I saw his photo on the director's desk wrist adorned with a luxury watch. The director chuckled, my son a top student by every measure, though playfully obsessed with some scripted murder mystery game, pretending to be poor and mute. Says his current playmates, some frumpy older woman already planning his next game target. Tears of laughter streamed down as I shredded the donation form. I'll join your cancer drug trial on one condition. Make me a Liu family adopted daughter. When Liu Yao's photo registered, lightning struck my consciousness. There he lounged against a yacht railing, luxury watch glinting amidst floral arrangements. A stunning girl nestled against him, matching timepiece on her wrist. The same face, yet nothing like the Liu Yao I knew. I remembered Liu Yao this morning, rubbing his eyes and signing for a good morning kiss. My temples throbbed as if drilled, the pain turning my vision black. Ding, my phone vibrated. A message from Liu Yao. Xiao Shui, handed out half the flyers this morning, made 30 yuan, bought you a bracelet. I opened the image and my breath caught. I recognized this bracelet. Last night, I'd accidentally found a velvet box in his backpack. Inside lay an exquisite four-leaf clover bracelet. The one on my screen now had chained links and crooked gems. A blatant counterfeit. The truth was clear. Liu Yao had bought the genuine Yen 50,000 piece, and this Yen 30 street market knockoff. The knockoff was for me. So who got the Yen 50,001? That girl on the yacht. I recalled last month, lingering at the mall display. Liu Yao had immediately signed. I'll buy it for you when I can. Now, he had. My mind flashed to the gifts I'd treasured in our rental apartment. Faded earrings, fraying cashmere scarves, bags stamped with LY. He seemed obsessed with gifting me counterfeit luxuries. I'd assumed he didn't recognize the brands. Now I knew. It was deliberate, or perhaps, for every genuine gift he bought those other girls, he'd get this old-fashioned elder sister a 9 yuan Pinduoduo knockoff. What an amusing way to toy with someone. Ding, my phone vibrated again. Why aren't you responding? Don't you like it? I slowly typed. I do, thank you. Liu Yao immediately sent a ski resort promotional image. Let's go skiing this weekend. They're running a special. Oh, some friends are coming too. You don't mind, right, sis? I glanced at the so-called discount. $199 per person. Equipment rental not included. That's what I'd earned delivering takeout all night. Staring at the screen, I suddenly laughed. The kind of laughter that burns behind your eyes. Turns out when life becomes utterly absurd. Laughter really is the only response. The director across the desk studied me strangely. Young lady, what's wrong? I put away my phone. Nothing. Just read something hilarious. Let's continue discussing the new drug trial. Due to the drug's properties, the trial process would be extremely painful, with vanishingly low odds of success. No patient would gamble on that microscopic survival rate. With the approval deadline looming, the director, one of the drug's developers, was visibly anxious. When I volunteered, her eyes lit up before clouding with suspicion. Why would they make such a demand? Pressing a hand against the stabbing pain in my chest, I forced a smile and said, my parents always favor my younger sister. I never knew what familial love felt like growing up. Besides, I pointed at the photo frame. I'd like a handsome younger brother too. The director glanced at Liu Yao in the photograph and smiled knowingly. So you see, if you can endure the 3-year drug trial period, I'll let you become my daughter. Mission accomplished. I breathed a sigh of relief. After signing the confidentiality agreement, the director looked at me with profound meaning in his eyes. Strive to stay alive. I nodded emphatically. I will. She turned to gaze at the magnolia blossoms on the branch outside the window. Weighed down by the fine snowfall, they drooped listlessly, their heads hanging low, yet stubbornly clung to the branch. Take me, for instance. I'd fully intended to die this winter. Yet, here I am, painfully resurrected by sheer agony. I didn't reply to Liu Yao's message. even when he followed up with just consider it alone for now, okay? I still ignored him. I sat on the sofa, quietly waiting for him to return. Shortly past 9, Lu Yao appeared. His handsome face darkened as he slammed the keys onto the shoe cabinet with a jarring clatter. At moments like this before, I would walk over, gently tug his sleeve, and sign to ask, angry? Then he deliberately put on a stern face, waiting for me to coax him. But now, I have nothing. I sat on the sofa, flipping through the hospital's follow-up report. I had never told Lu Yao about my condition. To him, I was just suffering from severe anemia. At this moment, I suddenly wondered, what if he knew I was dying? Would he regret all the times he teased me? I pricked up my ears, listening as he slammed a glass onto the kitchen counter, then deliberately let the fridge door bang shut. He was waiting for me to speak, to give in like I always did before. But this time, I just silently crumpled the test results in my hand, the paper crackling between my fingers. Lu Yao didn't notice my anticipation at all. All he cared about was his own waiting game. When I still refused to yield, he finally snapped, grabbing his jacket. Lu Yao shot me a cold glance and signed, "I'm going back to campus." I didn't stop him. The moment the door slammed, I stood and followed. At the neighborhood gate, he made a call. His cool, deep voice carried to me by the night wind. "Xiao Gao, come get me." "Where else?" "The stingy woman's place." "Bring Mimi. I've got a gift for her." This was the first time I'd ever heard Lu Yao's speaking voice. Normally, the only sounds I caught were the restrained groans that escaped his throat and even those few sounds were unbearably sexy. I once asked him how he became mute and whether there was any hope for treatment. He pulled at his lips and signed. It was from a childhood fever. The doctors said going abroad might help, but the medical costs would probably run into millions. Back then, I thought, when I die, I'll donate my heart to his mother. Then I'd sell the rest of my organs, corneas, kidneys, whatever, to prearranged buyers. No matter what, I had to scrape together enough for his treatment. Hearing him speak again became my dying wish. Now, here I am, still alive, yet already hearing his voice with my own ears. Laughable and pathetic, Lu Yao entered a high-end club, where the security guards at the door bowed obsequiously. Clearly, he was a regular. I followed him inside, lurking in the corridor shadows. I peered through the half-open VIP room door. Dim amber lighting, liquor bottles littering the table. The moment Lu Yao stepped in, someone on the sofa immediately jeered. "Yo, young Master Lu, done babysitting your sugar mama tonight?" He scoffed, loosening his tie before downing half a glass in one tilt. "Been at it too much lately. She's starting to overstep." The girl from the photo sidled up, her fingers tracing his collarbone suggestively. "Hey Yao, got something for me?" Lu Yao produced a gift box from his pocket. "Here, wear it for fun." The girl opened it and pouted in dissatisfaction. "Isn't this last year's design?" Lu Yao glanced at it. Was originally meant for her. "Wait, what? Didn't you always give her 9 yuan junk?" The pack of rich kids swarmed around him. "Young Master Lu, don't tell us you caught feelings from sleeping with her." Standing in the doorway shadows, I couldn't stop my trembling fists from clenching. Lu Yao stayed silent for a moment before slowly exhaling a smoke ring. "Don't talk nonsense. You think I'd fancy some tacky, stingy, old woman like her? Just figured since I'm bored of playing anyway, might as well end things soon." To be fair, she wasn't terrible to me. This outdated gift should do the trick. Another wave of mocking jeers rose from the crowd. Though physically mere meters away, I felt plunged into an abyss. "Young Master Lu, that girl's not bad looking. Quite delicate, actually. After you dump her, I could swoop in while she's vulnerable. Bet I could sweet-talk her into bed." "No." The girl named Mimi smacked the blonde speaker. "Huang Mao, on the arm, EW. She looks like some sickly invalid. What's wrong with your taste?" Huang Mao chuckled. "What can I say? I've got a thing for fragile beauties. Young Master Lu, is she actually sick or what?" Lu Yao swirled his glass. "Nothing serious. Just anemic. All drama. No substance." Mimi covered her mouth with a giggle. "See? Last time, Yao swapped the medicine on her nightstand, and she still hasn't noticed after all this time?" The girl's delicate laughter was as melodious as a nightingale's song, yet to my ears, it pierced like needles. No wonder my condition worsened so quickly. It was because Lu Yao had replaced the expensive specialized medication I'd scrimped to buy. A metallic warmth surged in my throat. I pressed a hand to my mouth, forcing it back down. Inside the private room, Lu Yao seemed restless, checking his phone repeatedly. Mimi draped herself over him. Yao Ji, why are you ignoring me? Lu Yao pinched her chin, smirking lazily. What's the rush? I'm just waiting to see when Liang Shui will cave. Jealous? Relax. She's about to become ancient history. With that, he leaned down and kissed her. The room erupted in whistles and raucous laughter. I stood outside the door, nails digging into my palms until they should have bled, but I felt nothing. Slowly, I pulled out my phone and sent him a message. I'll take you all skiing this weekend. Almost instantly, deafening cheers exploded from the room. Holy shit, she replied. Young Master Lu, you've won again. Lu Yao lifted his phone with a languid smirk, the screen's glow illuminating his triumphant grin. He swayed before the crowded room and declared, See? What did I tell you? She can't live without me. Mimi giggled coquettishly as she melted into his arms. You promised, after skiing, you'll bring her to my family's hotel for my birthday banquet. Then you'll reveal your true identity and announce our relationship officially. Lu Yao paused, then nibbled her ear. Of course. After their intimate moment, he lowered his head and tapped away on his phone. Soon, I received a reply. Fine, schoolwork's hectic these days, so I won't go back. See you at the ski resort this weekend. I replied with a single okay, then turned and walked away. The club's corridor stretched endlessly, my shadow elongated, gaunt and solitary. The night wind still bit cold, but this time, I didn't cry. Back in my rental apartment, I gathered every trace of Lu Yao. What he'd given me went into the trash. What I'd given him, burned or shredded. Not a single scrap remained. I opened the Last Wishes album, tearing out each photo one by one. Our first bungee jump. Lu Yao embracing my ghost white face, flashing a victory sign at the camera. Our first car racing experience. My trembling legs stumbling from the passenger seat as Lu Yao, clad in racing gear, stood by the door offering his hand. Our first scuba dive. Me fainting on the beach while Lu Yao frantically performed CPR. During my first skydiving attempt, I clung desperately to the aircraft door until Lu Yao gave me a firm push from behind. Every first time became my last. These life-risking adventures I'd shared with him. I'd imagined them becoming cherished memories of his lifetime, yet they were merely casual diversions to him. I erased my last wishes list and began drafting new unfinished business for him. But these were just mundane routines in his world. Staring at the empty photo album, the suffocating weight in my chest finally dissolved into tears, flooding out uncontrollably. The weekend arrived as scheduled. When I arrived, Lu Yao and his friends were already geared up. From afar, I saw the group laughing and roughhousing outside the ski equipment hall. Upon approaching, I realized there were far more people than he'd mentioned. Every familiar face from the private booth was present. Lu Yao noticed me first, approaching with apologetic sign language. Sorry, sis. I didn't expect so many classmates would come. If you're short on cash, I can front the payment through Huabei. Gazing into his amber eyes, I slowly shook my head. It's fine. I've got it. Mimi clung to my arm affectionately. Sis is amazing. So generous. The others joined in with performative enthusiasm. Thanks, sis. Beautiful inside and out. I could tell, not a single word came from the heart. Their eyes kept sweeping over me, appraising me like a counterfeit about to be exposed. Lu Yao glanced at them, the corners of his mouth tightening slightly. When paying the deposit, I pulled out a stack of scattered bills from my bag, crumpled 50s and dog-eared 10s. Mimi gasped theatrically. Xiao Shui, don't tell me you smashed your savings jar for this. I nodded calmly. I did. Lu Yao whipped his head toward me. He knew about that jar. I'd bought it when we first got together, just for our travel fund. I'd promised that once we saved enough, I'd take him to Iceland to see the Northern Lights. Back then, he'd grinned and signed. Sure, and I want to see penguins in Antarctica too. I hadn't responded at the time. What he didn't know was that I only had enough time left to save for that one trip to Iceland. I wanted to see the Northern Lights at my life's final stop. I wanted Lu Yao to be with me for my last journey. But now, the jar was empty. Lu Yao stared at me. No more Iceland? Of course we'll go. I brushed him off. I found another way to make money. The crowd erupted in forced cheers, offering hollow congratulations for my sudden fortune. Only Lu Yao's expression darkened further. Mimi offered to guide me. Newcomers fall the most. Let me teach you, sis. Lu Yao glanced at her and nodded. Mimi skis well. Follow her. He trusted her, seeing their exchanged glances up close. I understood. Some divides might as well be chasms. Even if I build a ladder to the clouds, I couldn't grasp so much as a wisp. Mimi led me toward the beginner slope, then abruptly veered halfway, steering us toward the deserted edge of a steep drop. Too crowded here, sis. Let's find somewhere quieter. I didn't object. I knew she had something to say. Earlier, when paying, Lu Yao couldn't stop staring at me, yet her eyes never left him. I wanted to hear what this girl, who'd also made a fool of me, would say next. If visible, I'd have told her, "You're already remarkable. You don't need petty schemes in this rivalry. You're worthy of love as you are." But she denied me the chance. Mimi gripped my hand, her voice turning icy. "You heard everything, didn't you, sis? I saw you lurking by the door like a sewer rat." I tightened my grip on the ski poles and stayed silent. Mimi sneered. "I thought you'd have the decency to walk away. Who knew you'd cling to Io so shamelessly, enduring humiliation rather than letting go? Do you have any idea how much Io despises you? He says you're old, ugly, and reek of poverty. Even your underwear comes from street stalls. That scarf you gave him? He tossed it to my Abang. Oh dear, did I forget to mention? Abang is my dog." The edge of the snow slope loomed. One step further would send me tumbling into the bottomless snow pit. Yet Mimi didn't stop. I realized her intention too late. Though I struggled, she held me fast. "You're insane," Mimi chuckled darkly, then lunged at me with sudden force. White-hot pain exploded from my chest. I plummeted into the snow pit, helpless as a rag doll. Muffled sounds reached my waterlogged ears. Mimi's shrill voice above. My leg, a clamor of approaching footsteps. A crowd gathering. They called Mimi's name. Her pack of friends. She pushed me. Mimi sobbed with theatrical grace. I only meant to teach her, but she tried to kill me. Lying at the bottom of the pit, a sharp pain shot through my right leg as snowflakes trickled down my collar, chilling me to trembling. I tried to rise, but the snow was too loose. Each struggle only sank me deeper. I wanted to deny it, but blood-flecked foam spilled from my lips the moment I opened my mouth. All I could do was tilt my head back, hoping Lu Yao might glance my way, but he never did. Neither did the others. Footsteps soon faded into the distance, as if they'd forgotten I ever existed, leaving me abandoned in the snow pit. My phone buzzed once. Lu Yao's text read, "You're vicious. Mimi just wanted to teach you skiing. Was this necessary, just because I've been spending time with her? I misjudged you completely." I reread those two messages obsessively. On the fifth pass, realization struck. No matter how I struggled, hesitated, or made excuses for myself, the outcome would always be the same. Lu Yao discarding me like worthless weeds. He wouldn't even believe me. How could he ever love me? I waited in the snow pit until darkness swallowed everything. My phone buzzed again. Mimi's birthday party at Blue Flame Villa tonight. Come apologize. I laughed, then dialed Lu Yao's mother instead. "Director, it's me. Could you come pick me up at the northern slope of the ski resort? I'll send you the coordinates. Then we should head straight to the research center. My condition seems to be worsening." The response came almost immediately. After hanging up, I deleted all of Lu Yao's unread messages. Above the snow pit, neon lights shimmered like the northern lights across the night sky. What a shame, I thought. We were supposed to see them together in Iceland. If things had gone differently, I might have even called him little brother by now. In the banquet hall of Blue Flame Villa, Lu Yao lounged on the sofa, glancing intermittently at his phone screen. His last text to Liang Shui remained unanswered for 2 hours. Still no reply. Is she angry? But she was the one who bumped into Mimi first. Falling into that snow pit was her own damn fault. What's there to be mad about? Irritated, Lu Yao fired off a second message. "Xiao Shui, stop being childish. You're the older sister. Don't embarrass yourself in front of the juniors." After a long pause, he added, "I've saved enough for Iceland. Just apologize, and we'll leave after the new year." He waited, but the silence remained unbroken. TCH, spoiled brat. Lu Yao shoved his phone forcefully into his pocket, his expression cold as he lit a cigarette. Mimi sidled up to him. Yao, hasn't Liang Shui arrived yet? Their friends craned their necks to look outside. Could she be throwing a tantrum and not coming? Lu Yao exhaled a smoke ring. Can't you all wait those few minutes? The group chuckled awkwardly, baffled by his sudden outburst. Mimi looped her arm through his and cooed. Yao, remember our deal. Once Liang Shui gets here, you'll reveal your identity, and we'll make it official. I can't wait to see the look on Liang Shui's face. Lu Yao gave a non-committal grunt, his fingers unconsciously rubbing the bank card in his pocket. 500,000, enough to cover her efforts these past months. If she'd just swallow her pride and apologize, he wouldn't mind compensating her a little more. After all, a stingy, penny-pinching woman like Liang Shui had probably never seen that kind of money before. Halfway through the banquet, Liang Shui still hadn't arrived. Lu Yao grew increasingly agitated. One of the trust fund kids muttered, "You think she fell into a snow pit and couldn't climb out?" Mimi giggled. That pit was so shallow. How could anyone not get out? The others chimed in. If you ask me, that girl's just playing the victim. Exactly, brother Yao. Keep giving her the cold shoulder. Clink. Lu Yao slammed his glass down heavily. I'm going out for a smoke. Mimi stood up. I'll go with you. Don't bother. Lu Yao waved her off and strode outside alone. The mountain wind howled through the corridor, bitingly cold. Lu Yao scrolled through his contacts and video called Liang Shui. Still no answer. He checked the time. 9 p.m. already. The temperature had dropped below freezing outside, and unease prickled at him. What if she'd hurt her leg during the fall? What if her phone broke and she couldn't call for help? Lu Yao decided to find Liang Shui himself. One last responsibility before their breakup, he told himself. He sped to the ski resort in under half an hour. From afar, he saw the north slope cordoned off with tape. Rescue workers in reflective vests murmuring among themselves. His heart lurched, grabbing the nearest guard. His voice trembled unconsciously. What happened? The guard said. A girl fell into a snow pit. The ambulance arrived too late. Before the words fully landed, Lu Yao tore through the barrier tape. Liang Shui. At this moment, he finally stopped pretending to be mute. Liang Shui, come out. Don't play this kind of joke on me. Didn't you say you wanted to cure my voice? That you wanted to hear me speak? Let me tell you. Lu Yao's voice fractured in the valley's night wind. It sounded like weeping. A doctor approached. Did you know the deceased? The words the deceased stabbed at Lu Yao's eyes, darkening his vision. He swayed. What the hell are you talking about? She just took a fall. That's all. The unjustly scolded doctor stiffened with anger. Who are you? What's your relationship with her? Lu Yao choked on his words. I'm her boyfriend. The doctor raised an eyebrow. Lu Yao? Lu Yao's eyes flickered with shock, then relief. I knew she was fine. She told you my name, didn't she? The doctor gave him an odd look. I saw it in her phone's notes. It was her suicide letter. What did you do to her? Huh? Drive a girl so far she'd rather die than face you again? Lu Yao felt like 1,000 needles were piercing his skull. What death? One more word, and I'll report you. You hear me? The doctor rolled his eyes. The deceased had late-stage bone cancer. After falling into the snow pit, her right leg shattered. She couldn't have climbed out. Compounded by hypothermia-induced multi-organ failure, it was already too late when they found her. The words late-stage bone cancer struck Lu Yao like a thunderbolt. She had never told him. When she lay awake all night in pain, he'd only roll over impatiently with his back to her. When she coughed up blood, he dismissed it as just a cold. When she grew gaunt beyond recognition, he assumed she was just too miserly to buy proper food. He knew nothing. He noticed nothing. What had he been doing while she suffered unbearably? He'd been scheming with friends about new ways to torment her. And how must she have felt when she emptied her last savings jar just to indulge his cruel joke? Lu Yao couldn't bear to imagine. His throat felt packed with ice. No sound could escape him. Lu Yao collapsed to his knees, the impact cracking through the frozen snow. The doctor took one look at him and understood. Don't tell me you didn't even know your girlfriend was sick? He gazed at the doctor with desperate pleading. Where is she? Please give her back to me. I'm begging you. She's no longer here. The doctor sighed. We've already contacted her emergency contact for collection. Who? Lu Yao pressed urgently. Her parents never cared whether she lived or died. Who could she possibly contact? The doctor no longer wanted to engage with him and replied dismissively, I don't know. Someone just came and took her away. I suggest you stop asking. Since it was the deceased's wish, it's better to respect it, he added. Lu Yao staggered back 2 steps, barely keeping his balance. Just then, the ski resort manager pushed through the crowd, holding up a tablet. Young Master Lu, is this your friend? On the screen, Mimi deliberately slammed into Liang Shui, sending her tumbling into the snow pit. Her sweet, innocent face was twisted with malice. Lu Yao stared at the surveillance footage, his heart seized by an invisible fist, blood freezing solid in his veins. Had she been in too much pain to even cry out? Had she waited for him in that snow pit for hours? And he hadn't even gone looking for her. His legs gave way, and he collapsed to his knees in the snow, a broken sob tearing from his throat. I'm sorry, but the howling wind swallowed his words. No one would ever answer him again. 3 years later, I returned to the city I'd left behind. The Lu family's car arrived the moment my plane touched down. Director Lin herself came to greet me. She pulled me into a tight embrace. Welcome back, Xiao Shui. I returned her embrace. Yet my eyes darkened imperceptibly as we parted. 3 full years of experimental drug treatments. The hardships and dangers endured could never be captured in mere words. Countless times, the drug's side effects left me writhing in agony, to the point where other doctors couldn't bear it and wanted to halt the treatment. But Director Lin coldly ordered, increase the dosage. Whether she survives is her fate. The worst episode left me breathless, slipping into a death-like state. Yet my consciousness remained eerily clear. I heard Director Lin click her tongue in disdain, and here I thought she'd toughen up for Lu Yao's sake. Turns out she's just as useless. Her family already thinks she's dead. No need to notify them. Just send her straight to the funeral home. Her voice in that moment mirrored those wealthy patrons who'd once treated me like their plaything. Sheer defiance dragged me back from death's threshold. From that day onward, my body somehow adapted to the drugs. By the 3rd year, I'd recovered nearly 80%. Now, returned, I attend high-profile events as Director Lin's adopted daughter, a living testament to her achievements. Come to the old family manor with me. Director Lin smiled. We're having dinner tonight. Time they met my goddaughter. Besides, haven't you always wanted to see my son? Meeting her smile, I feigned shyness. Yes, I wonder if Lu Yao still remembers me. Director Lin glanced at me through the rearview mirror with an inscrutable half-smile. That fake death stunt of yours really wrecked him back then. He showed zero regard for childhood bonds, was dead set on sending Shinmimi to prison. Only after his father and I pulled every string did he finally relent. For 3 years, he searched everywhere for your cremation plot. I'm the one who kept feeding him excuses to throw him off. Went through God knows how many girlfriends since, every single one bearing your shadow. Honestly, your move was downright ruthless. But let's be clear, I'll tolerate you two being together. Yet you know his status, an elite circle heir. Marriage alliances are inevitable. When he eventually weds, you'll vanish into the shadows. Not a soul must know. Understood? I nodded obediently, crystal clear. Pleased by my compliance, Director Lin handed me a jade bracelet. Wear this. Pairs well with your cheongsam. I accepted it gratefully, feigning breathless admiration. The moment she turned away with disdain, my lips curled into a mocking smirk. If she adored this love-struck act of mine, I'd perform it for her, just like Lu Yao once performed for me. When we reached the Lu family's old manor, Lu Yao hadn't returned yet. The others didn't spare me a second glance. After all, to them, a poor wretch like me was just a disposable pawn they could discard any time. After waiting for over an hour, Lu Yao finally appeared. I listened as footsteps approached from afar, stopping 3 paces behind me. His breathing was labored, as if he'd run a great distance. Liang Shui, his voice was hoarse beyond recognition. I turned slowly, curling my lips into a perfectly measured smile. Did little brother come to see me? Lu Yao's pupils contracted violently. He'd grown much thinner, that once vibrant face, now all sharp angles and edges, with faint shadows bruising beneath his eyes. How amusing. So these 3 years hadn't treated him kindly either. You didn't die. His voice trembled. I gave a light laugh. What? Disappointed? His Adam's apple bobbed as he suddenly stepped forward to seize my wrist. How can you say such things? When Mom said you were her goddaughter, I couldn't believe it. If she hadn't shown me your photo, I wouldn't have come today. Xiao Shui, how could you be so cruel? By the time this barrage of questions ended, Lu Yao's eyes were rimmed red. I let him keep gripping me, even tilting my head slightly with feigned confusion. Little brother, what's all this about? Don't call me that, he nearly roared. Do you have any idea how I've lived these past 3 years? Lu Yao backed me into the shadows like a beast gone feral. Had your fun? Enjoy watching me lose my mind? Just like old times? I reached to smooth the wrinkles on his collar. But this is exactly how you played with me before. You're the one who said we weren't from the same world. Lu Yao violently yanked open his shirt, revealing the snowflake tattoo over his heart. Xiao Shui, listen to me. I love you. It wasn't until you left that I realized. The one I truly loved was always you. I was blind, too blind to see my own heart. But it's not too late. Let's start over. I swear I'll treat you right this time. I smirked inwardly before leaning close, my lips grazing his earlobe. But now I'm your sister, aren't I? Or do you want people whispering about you screwing your own sister? Lu Yao stiffened. Everyone knows we're not blood related. I laughed lightly as I stepped back. Still won't do. Tomorrow I'm meeting the heir to Qin Pharmaceutical. Care to join us? Little brother? Lu Yao's eyes reddened further, like an abandoned stray. He tends to lash out again, but I strode past him toward approaching Director Lin. I affectionately looped my arm through hers. Godmother, I'm meeting young Master Qin tomorrow, so I need to squeeze in a spa day today. I'll take my leave now. I knew the Lu family had been desperate to secure that partnership with the Chens. By volunteering to meet that spoiled heir, I was certain Director Lin would play along. Her lips curled into a smile as she whispered, playing hard to get. I feigned surprise. Truly, nothing escapes you. Director Lin preened with satisfaction. These tricks of yours are outdated moves from my playbook. Fine, I'll help you string my foolish son along for now. With her assistance, I finally shook off Lu Yao. As I left, I could feel his gaze burning into my back. It lingered far longer than it should have. The next day, Lu Yao predictably showed up for the arranged meeting, though hidden under a baseball cap and mask. His eyes remained fixed on us with unsettling intensity, pretending not to notice. I flashed a saccharine smile at the newly arrived young Master Chen as he pulled out a chair. His appraising stare carried an unpleasant edge. Decent looks. Rumor says you were with Lu Yao before. Still a virgin? I don't deal with secondhand goods. I bit my lip in feigned humiliation, lowering my eyes while deliberately fluttering my lashes. I knew this vulnerable act showed me to best advantage, like a fragile, defenseless little white rabbit. Sure enough, young Master Chen's breathing grew heavier across the table. He reached out to touch my cheek. Though for you, I might make an exception. I deliberately didn't pull away. In my peripheral vision, a chair screeched violently in the corner. I hear Lu Corporation is negotiating a new drug partnership. Young Master Chen leaned closer. Did Director Lin send you to demonstrate sincerity? As I opened my mouth to respond, a dark figure lunged forward. Lu Yao's fist connected with young Master Chen's face, toppling the dining table and shattering champagne glasses across the floor. Stay away from her. Lu Yao snarled through gritted teeth, his grip tightening on the young master's collar like a feral beast. The restaurant descended into chaos. I remained still, watching the humiliated young Master Chen with a quiet smile. By afternoon, Qin Pharmaceutical had terminated all negotiations with the Lu family. Director Lin stormed in demanding answers. Look what you've done. I blinked innocently, tears welling with practiced precision. I only wanted to help with the business deal. I never imagined Lu Yao would lose control like that. The director's stern expression flickered. Seizing the moment, I produced a document. These are evidence of data fraud at Qin Pharmaceutical, uncovered by my journalist friend. I held back from presenting this earlier because I noticed the Lu family was courting the Chens for collaboration, but now might be the perfect time to use it. Don't you think? Director Lin accepted it, his rigid expression gradually blooming into a smile. You thoughtful child. Watching her fingers flip through the documents, I sneered inwardly. Ever since Lu Yao's breakup, Young Master Chen had become Shin Mimi's ardent pursuer, yet she maintained that maddening ambiguity, stringing him along like a kite on a frayed string. This way, she secured the Chen family's protection, a shield against Lu Yao's retaliation. Shin Mimi's calculations rang as clear as abacus beads. Did she truly think I'd let her scheme succeed? That night, Lu Yao came to my door, his right hand bandaged, left cheek still bruised. His voice was gravel. Xiao Shui, my father beat me. I tilted my head, and hurt flashed through his eyes. Suddenly, he knelt, forehead pressed against my thigh. Take any revenge you want, just not like this. I leaned down until our breaths mingled. Like what? Watching me with someone else. His breathing hitched. Lu Yao, I whispered, when I saw you kiss Shin Mimi, this was exactly how I felt. Lu Yao's eyes suddenly blazed with hope. Xiao Shui, you still love me, don't you? I merely smiled in silence, neither confirming nor denying. I knew one final push was still needed to achieve my ultimate goal. The Chen family begged the Lu family to show some mercy, not to drive them to utter ruin. Knowing Lu Yao's feud with Mimi, they publicly severed ties with her and even released footage of Mimi slandering Lu Yao, hoping this gesture would appease the Lu family. On screen, Mimi rolled her eyes at the camera. What kind of trash is Lu Yao? Did he really think I wanted him? From the start, it was just a scripted murder mystery game, playing some stingy old hag for laughs. Then he caught feelings. Ugh, talk about bad taste. But don't mistake him for some romantic hero either. He was so desperate to sleep with her, he never even checked her background. Turns out she was a terminal cancer patient with months to live. Just wanted one last fling before croaking, and picked Lu Yao. Every time we drew lots for pranks, I rigged it so he'd always get extreme games. Bungee jumping, skydiving, that sort of thing. But that old hag was tough, survived every time, so I personally sent her off for good on the ski slopes. That idiot Lu Yao actually wants to cut ties with me over some worthless trash. He must have water in his brain. After reviewing the video, I curled the corner of my lips. The Chun family pulling the stunt probably knows I was the one who gave the evidence to Director Lin. They must despise me to the bone. But right now, I'm Lu Yao's precious darling. They wouldn't dare lay a finger on me. Shin Mimi, however, wouldn't overthink things. She can't touch Lu Yao, but she'll definitely settle the score with me. Seems the Chens are trying to kill two birds with one stone, but this actually plays right into my hands. I'll be waiting for her. Shin Mimi didn't keep me waiting long. A week later, at the charity gala, Director Lin brought me along as her living signboard. The moment we entered the venue, she was swarmed by business associates. I found myself alone. Soon after, a waiter accidentally spilled red wine on my dress. She offered to take me to the dressing room to change, and I agreed. But the moment we entered, she locked the door behind us. Shin Mimi emerged from the shadows, her eyes venomous. You think you've won just by clinging to the Lu family? She glared at me viciously. Lu Yao and I grew up together for over a decade. Who do you think you are? Stealing him from me? Know your place. Pauper, you should have crawled back to your rat hole long ago. I let her rant, curious to see how far she'd go. About 5 minutes later, footsteps suddenly echoed outside the door. Shin Mimi's expression shifted, then twisted into a grotesque smile. She suddenly grabbed a vase and smashed it against her own forehead. Crash! Blood instantly gushed down her face. I could only sigh internally. Couldn't you at least vary your tactics? Shin Mimi smirked. If I could fool Liao back then, I can fool everyone now. Enjoy your cyberbullying. She let out a piercing shriek. Help, Miss Liang. Please stop hitting me. As the door burst open, camera flashes erupted like fireworks. Reporters formed a tight circle, many live streaming on their phones. Clearly a prearranged ambush. Beyond the crowd, I spotted Director Lin standing impassively. She raised her wine glass toward me in silent toast. I returned a faint smile. Director Lin seemed puzzled, her brow furrowing slightly, but I turned away, standing unflinchingly as the media captured every angle. Within minutes, the hashtag Lu Family Earth's Assault Socialite topped the trending charts. Misguided netizens easily fell for the troll's narrative, casting Mimi as the innocent victim, while I became the scheming other woman who faked her death to ensnare Lu Yao. The backlash was instantaneous. Countless voices cursed me, demanding to know why I hadn't just died in that snow pit. Some even fabricated evidence, claiming I'd never had cancer at all. Then Mimi stepped forward again, magnanimously claiming she understood my jealousy and wouldn't pursue charges. The move instantly won her a wave of public approval. Soon after, Director Lin issued a statement severing ties with me. I wasn't surprised. Her research had gained recognition. She no longer needed this tool of hers. More crucially, someone as shrewd as her must have realized I'd become uncontrollable. Within days, I transformed from public sympathy case to internet villain. The entire world seemed arrayed against me. Only Lu Yao fought like a madman to subpoena security footage. But Mimi had chosen the locker room precisely because it lacked cameras. The puzzle appeared unsolvable, yet I felt no trace of panic. It was Lu Yao who burst into my temporary hotel room at midnight, gripping my arm with frantic urgency. They're rallying online, coming here to teach you a lesson. We need to leave. Now, I gently pried his fingers open. Why should I hide? Lu Yao's face was etched with urgency. At a time like this, don't be stubborn. Trust me, I'll protect you. I smiled, rotating the tablet before handing it to him. Thanks, but I don't need your protection. The screen displayed crystal clear footage of Mimi Shun's entire violent episode. Every expression, every word captured in high definition. Lu Yao gaped. You, I said coolly. If I knew she was coming for me, did you really think I wouldn't prepare? It took Lu Yao moments to recover. So you let her take it public on purpose? Why? I gave him a meaningful look and murmured, I needed a catalyst to expose her to the world. But I couldn't afford trending topics. So I let her own hands orchestrate her downfall. Lu Yao's breath hitched as he stared at me in disbelief. I couldn't care less about his thoughts. Right before him, I tapped send. That night, I slept soundly, oblivious to the online storm. Only when I woke naturally the next afternoon did I check my handiwork. Hashtag Mimi Shin crime evidence exposed. Hashtag the dark truth behind scripted murder mysteries. Hashtag Elite's twisted games. 3 trending topics dominated the charts, becoming the hottest headlines across all platforms. Yesterday, in addition to Mimi Shun's incriminating video, I sent out all the evidence I'd previously gathered in one comprehensive package. It contained detailed accounts of the wealthy heir's misdeeds under the guise of scripted murder mystery games, complete with victim testimonies. The public outcry finally drew the attention of the authorities. These entitled young elites, once so brazen, became pariahs everyone wanted gone. Mimi Shen, the ringleader who'd profited from gambling rings during these games, was hauled away in handcuffs. As for Lu Yao, who ran also received their fair share of public shaming. Director Lin, who'd knowingly turned a blind eye to her son's misconduct, found her medical reputation in tatters and was removed from her position. With everything settled, I finally exhaled in relief. When Lu Yao came to me for the last time, he was drenched, rainwater sloshing in his leather shoes like a stray dog with nowhere left to go. Trembling, he pulled a waterproof document pouch from his coat, all my shares, Swiss bank safe deposit keys, and this. His shaking fingers unbuttoned his shirt, revealing my name tattooed over his left breast. Want to carve it out? Take everything. I'll give you everything. Just don't leave me, please? His plea was so humble, just like when I lay in that snow pit, hoping against hope for him to turn back. I took 2 steps back, showing him through action that there was no possibility left between us. Lu Yao rushed forward and embraced me, his voice choked with emotion. I know you hate me. I also know what a bastard I've been. I'll willingly endure all this retribution from you. I only beg for your forgiveness. Let's forget everything from the past and start anew. I chuckled lowly, my tone eerily calm. Lu Yao, you don't actually think I did all this just to get back at you? I'm not that love-struck, okay? Lu Yao stared at me dazedly, the corners of his eyes pitifully reddening. I pushed him away. Let me tell you a story. You know my parents never liked me. I grew up starved for affection. My younger sister spread rumors everywhere, calling me a jinx, until all my playmates shunned me. No one would play with me. In middle school, I found a stray dog. It became my only real friend. Once when I was selling balloons at a roadside stall, I ran into Shinmimi and her entourage of admirers on an outing. When one of her friends tried to force a kiss on me, it was my dog that protected me, scaring them all away. But when I woke the next morning, it had been skinned and dumped at my doorstep, with no one to hear my cries. The hatred took root in my heart, becoming the nightmare that's haunted me all these years. Until I saw your photos with Mimi. Truth be told, I stopped loving you the moment I realized you deceived me. Every calculated move I've made was to show people like you that no privilege, no matter how great, gives anyone the right to harm a life, even if it's just a dog. Lu Yao's face gradually paled, as if he'd already guessed what I would say next. Don't do this, Xiao Shui. I don't care if you use me. You'll have plenty of chances to punish me later. I never understood love. That's why I've wronged you so much. Will you teach me what love really means? Please, don't abandon me. I let out a mirthless laugh. How can you still not understand? The Lu Yao I loved, that poor, mute boy, was killed by another Lu Yao. So just leave. At least we can still part on civil terms. In the end, Lu Yao walked away like a broken man. Before leaving, he accidentally forgot the equity transfer agreement. He said he'd keep waiting for me until I changed my mind. I watched his retreating figure disappear, then turned and fed the agreement into the shredder. Amidst swirling debris, I grabbed my suitcase and stepped out. The taxi idled by the curb as the driver asked, "Where to, miss?" I smiled in reply, "The airport, please." Beyond the rain-streaked window, neon lights bled across the wet cityscape like a smudged watercolor painting, yet my future was coming into sharp focus.